Hello there, you beautiful people. My name is Willow, and welcome back to Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever, where today we will be casting ourselves a great, amazing 1v1 ladder match played on the map Badlands. I'm going to turn this music up, and really quick, I need to go turn off the stream music. Sorry, very unprofessional and such. Stream music is off. Let's go ahead and get into introducing our two players, but before we do, go ahead and consider liking and subscribing and commenting on this video if you're over on Twitch, and if you're on chat, well, I don't know, follow or something. Starting with the blue player in the top left of Badlands, we have a blue UEF going first land by the name of Straight White Male. And then, moving on to the southern side of the action, a red UEF, so a UEF mirror matchup, by the name of Quagar, going first land as well. It's Badlands. There is about 9,000 reclaim. It's everywhere, but the big points of contention are going to be these two areas to the west and east of the central passage on the map. There's multiple lanes. It's kind of like a MOBA, but not a MOBA. Not anywhere close to a MOBA, but it kind of, you know, it's got like a flavor of MOBA. It's like MOBA light or MOBA heavy. Actually, it's way more like MOBA heavy, because you're sitting here with instead of just controlling one unit, which is very, very easy, controlling like 1,000 of them, which is not so much. So, yeah. Early engineers going out to reclaim. No scout and lab combo, which seems a bit heretical. It's ladder after all. We need to see the Mech Marine and Snoop going out and just trying to kill off an engineer or two. That is like a law or something, and if it's not followed, I do believe that like there's some kind of convention that's broken, and you don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be breaking conventions. That's just very, very bad visuals, very bad PR. So yeah, very bad press. So yeah. We do, of course, have the Striker Snoop combination. That is another alternative, less good. Mech Marine's always, of course, king of every unit in FAF. Better than a GC, mass for mass, in case you did not know. I actually haven't run that test, but like on paper, it should be better than a GC mass for mass. You know, there's always that. The Striker and Snoop are going to run into a Soul Striker. I wonder if the Snoop provides enough DPS to matter. Well, not whenever tanks are missing shots and also just not shooting because their turret traverse isn't fast enough. But it does look like the Snoop Striker combo are going to be the winners here, so maybe it did provide enough DPS with the 2 DPS to make a difference. I'm not entirely sure. It's 300 health, so it'd have to fire an awful lot to make a large difference, I'd feel. A T1 bomber out from Straight White Male, as a couple of strikers are running right up the middle, and they're a bit unopposed in this situation. Gonna need to deal with this is Straight White Male, where he's gonna lose some reclaiming engineers. We're losing those engineers. Not good. Very bad. Very, very bad, in fact. I'm gonna go out on a limb, and just from not good to very bad. The bomber manages to pick up, I believe that was an engineer, so one engineer kill on the bomber. Another engineer fated to die at the hands of this Scorcher, or I guess the wings of the Scorcher. Another T1 bomber, but this time built by Quagar, is going to be shot down by the interceptor that's been built up by Straight White Male. We don't have an interceptor out of Quagar just yet. A double engineer death that brings the total up to 4 engineers killed by this bomber. 2 T1AA mobile versions, of course, coming out to start trying to harass down this bomber, but another engineer will fall due to this fire-bombing terrorist destroying all of the civilian engineers just trying to earn their paycheck. Also, I'm sure that YouTube's gonna love the fact that I said terrorist in the first 5 minutes. That's gonna put me on a list or something, like the list of this channel will never grow again. Either way, this is a striker that's going to be encountering a mech marine. This mech marine not nearly as cool as if it were a mech marine snoop combo. The snoop really makes the mech marine cool because the snoop is like a motorcycle, so you're kind of just imagining a mech marine riding on the snoop, right? Like, does anybody else imagine that? It's just a motorcycle. Look at this thing. It's 1 second. There's an easier way to do this. It's just a motorcycle. So why doesn't the mech marine ride on the snoop? Answer that question for me. Like, he could totally sit right there in front of the gun. Mech marine on snoop. I need that fan art. That fan art is gonna be beautiful. I don't think I've ever gotten any fan art. Actually, I take that back. I think Tolex made some fan art. Speaking of which, go join my Discord. It's a very fun place, filled with fun people like Tolek and Icy Nightmare and Grimplex. And yeah, this is a bit of a engagement between some strikers. The red strikers, otherwise known as Quagar's strikers, are going to end up dying here. Neither of the comms moving out quite aggressively whatsoever. But, of course, they all have the production. 6 land factories already built up by Quagar versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for straight white male and 3 more on the way. Now 7. He's gonna have a lot of production, which is important. The problem is, despite him having technically more factories at the moment, he definitely has less strikers. He's definitely produced a lot less units so far in this game, and we have a large group of strikers gonna be running in here, killing off mass extractors, possibly even gonna pick up a hydrocarbon, which would be absolutely horrible for straight white male, but he does have some reinforcing units. Those factories working as hard as they can to just pump out another striker, and maybe will manage to save his economy before it's in tatters at the hands of the T1 tyranny being brought forth by Quagar. Quagar a bit paranoid about a run by. There is one striker that's in the back line about to kill off some engineers. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. There is this battle, despite all of the reinforcements showing up, still feels like Quagar has a chance to get some more damage done here. Is going to focus down a few more mexes, and that is going to be painful. We need turn around. Shoot it! It's on 88 health. Damn you! There we go. He's gonna get it. Oh no! Just never mind. Never mind. We brought it down to 40 health. We got it down to 40 health. That is super duper important. 40 health is the absolute limit. You cannot bring a mass extractor below 40 health. It is against the convention, the treatise made back in 2437. We cannot allow mass extractors to die just simply to the fire of our tanks. We have to like fill out a form, get some permission, all of that goodness. A transport going to be dropping some engineers as long as it doesn't die beforehand, and it dies beforehand. Wow, that was unfortunate. So the engineers got shot out of the sky as they were falling, which is I don't know how often I've seen that, but it does not happen very often, and that is a very unfortunate transport. Not going to be able to grab that high ground expansion, but does manage to drop an engineer off on the other one. Going to grab those 2 mexes, probably build a factory, just get a very secure position over on that giant cliff face. And there is a... Is it a cliff face? No, this would be like the top of the cliff. The face of the cliff is like the part that's like vertical, like the wall that you can't walk on it unless you got a rope. Here's a bunch of strikers out from straight white male. This time it's their turn to try and kill off a bunch of mass extractors and leave them on very low health without killing them off. I know the other one died. Stop. Don't at me. Killing off 1 mass extractor for the cost of about 40 tanks. Not worth it. Mass extractors pay themselves off very quickly. And this is looking a lot better than it did for a bit there for straight white male. A calm out for Quagar over here, killing off a few strikers. Going to be pushing forward a bit more aggressively with his calm than his opponent was. Is Quagar, of course. And we have a bit of air supremacy out from straight white male. He definitely has more interceptors than his opponent. In fact, kills an interceptor that decided to land at possibly the worst place to land an interceptor could be. A large push out from the west against straight white male from Quagar, going to be able to get through this first wave of strikers. He has such overwhelming numbers, but the question is, are enough reinforcements going to show up in time to deal with this? Also, Scorchers now an issue. With the complete air dominance that straight white male has, he's going to be able to use these Scorchers to great effect at killing off T1 units, but you still need your own ground force, and right now the western side of this map is looking quite anemic on the amount of units that straight white male has produced. Not quite able to keep his unit count up high enough to repel invading armies such as this striker force. There is T2 now completed for Quagar. Do we have anything approaching the same level of tech for straight white male? No, but straight white male has an absolute ridiculous amount of factories, sitting at over 21 factories, in fact, as Quagar sits only on a paltry 12. So that is, of course, going to give him an advantage as long as he can afford it. But the problem is he doesn't seem to be able to, as units constantly coming in, constantly killing off mass extractors. It's a very bad situation for straight white male as these strikers manage to get into the backline. This is where all the power is. This is where the T2 mechs is. Well, actually, the T2 mechs is over here. But this is where all the production is. This is very bad. A PD was tried to be built in vain. Surprisingly, very few structures going down. These strikers heavily focused on the reinforcements constantly being produced out of all of these production facilities, but a small hit squad of 4 strikers over onto the west have managed to start destroying all of the mass extractors, losing 6 and now 7 mass extractors to that bit of a run by 9 mass extractors. Wow, that is a hefty price to pay for his transgressions. Another mass extractor back here going down. Nearly half of the mass extractors on this side of the map destroyed by a few strikers. A striker in the back over here trying to kill off a T2 mechs. If this is not dealt with, that is absolutely horrendous. A 2-vet striker getting 2 health a second, gonna end up killing off a T2 mass extractor if this isn't noticed in time. It literally just takes 1 or 2 tanks just walking over here, or treading over there. They have treads. They rolling out. Autobots roll out. These robotic tanks just, oh my, please don't. Please don't. I have to watch this, don't I? In the south, Quagar's had to fall back with his comm. Some T2 units finally reaching the front line. These pillars going to be able to kill off strikers quite well. I still don't see a T2 upgrade on any of these factories starting yet. So Quagar also managing on the east. Quagar just coming up on every front and annihilating the defenses and the mass extractors. Just absolute dominance out of these units from Quagar. He just seemingly has more units everywhere he goes, but that's starting to change as he's starting to look a little bit anemic himself on the ground. There's so many T1 units. Sure, you have T2, but you still need the T1 units at least for a little while during a transitionary period, so that way you can get out enough T2 units to carpet the map in your great technological glory. The air situation really hasn't changed, but straight white male doing his best to give up air control as he lands his interceptors right next to the ground army of Quagar. In total, there's 4 interceptors on the entire map as of the moment, so air is definitely not a focus for either of these players. There are strikers and pillars over here killing off more mass extractors. Admittedly, straight white male's doing a pretty good job at getting engineers out here to rebuild his mass extractors, but isn't quite able to continue at the current pace he's at and manage everything going on. So he's going to have to be in a defensive position for quite a while. He's going to need more T2 mechs to keep up. Right now, he is definitely behind economically. We're looking at straight white male over here on 37 mass a second versus 71 for Quagar. Quagar got so much mass, he can't even manage to spend all of it. Look at this man. Just disrespectful. He doesn't even need to spend all of his mass to dismantle straight white male in this match. We're gonna have to see if he can find a way to make this competitive again. The good news for straight white male, though, is his production has finally come online to the point where right now it does look like he's able to field enough units on every flank. There's still this insurgent force of strikers out from Quagar over here, dealing substantial amounts of damage. It's just these small bands of units killing off a lot of mass extractors. This T2 mass extractor managed to survive with 100 health. That tank either got... I don't even know if the tank was killed, because there's not a wreck over here. I think the tank got pulled away instead of finishing off that mass extractor, and that's ridiculous. That's quite funny to me. It's funny that I don't think Straight White Male saved his mass extractor. I think Quagar saved Straight White Male's mass extractor right there. That's funny. There is a group of strikers over here, so we can finally see Straight White Male getting some punches back against his opponents. He's starting to take down some mass extractors over on this western flank. As I said, it was starting to seem that Quagar was kind of anemic on the ground. He doesn't have quite as many units anymore. He can't be at as many places at once at the moment, so he's going to have to come up with a strategy to deal with this, because there's a lot of units just pouring into both the eastern and western flank. The eastern flank a bit more manageable, as all of his production is over here. He's going to be able to deal with this quickly, but on the western flank there's still enough units to be a significant problem. There is also Scorcher T1 bombers coming in, making this a lot more difficult than it necessarily needs to be. These interceptors out from Quagar having a bit of trouble deciding whether or not they want to shoot down the bombers, kind of just in the vicinity but not doing their jobs. Eventually they get enough motivation or a big enough kick in the pants to go ahead and start attacking. Meanwhile, in the main base of Straight White Male, there's T2 and T1 units just pouring in. We've seen this story so many times in the past 16 minutes. It's Quagar constantly going for that left hook, shoving units into this western flank, and absolutely... I'm saying absolutely way too much, aren't I? But he's causing damage. It's just not good for Straight White Male. He needs to come up with a solution. I guess the solution is he does now have his own T2 factory. He's going to get up his own pillars. It does look like he control paid some factories. He's going to go ahead and send some reclaim engineers to grab those up. And of course, in the back lines, these tanks are going to continue to run all the way across to over here and kill off more mass extractors. And on the east, he's cleaning up all of this, but on the east there's another army. Quagar's just pulling armies out of his hat, left, right, center. There's an army for that, and he is using it quite effectively. But on the other side of the map, credit has to be given. Straight White Male doing a fantastic job at counterattacking at the moment, managing to kill off half of the mass extractors on Quagar's side of the map. Quagar also holding the two cliffs, going to be able to make a solid difference with that. 4 mass extractors may not sound like a lot, but it's 4 more mass extractors than your opponent has. He also has these 2 forward mass extractors over here that somehow weren't didn't manage to die whenever these units managed to get all the way down here. There's a T2 mechs right here. No, you move those units back. You move them back. That T2 mechs dies. Don't make me watch another T2 mechs almost die. That is ridiculous. Over to the east, there are more units. Just as I said, man has armies for days. He's got the units to make your knees buckle. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. Your knees are buckling to all these units. You've fallen in love with all the red on the screen. But we're definitely entering a state that's a bit more even. Overall, let's check on the economies. The mass difference is not that great at 3,000 mass total, but the mass generation difference is kind of big with 67 versus 47. Overall, though, it is seeming to be balanced out by the fact that Straight White Male has managed to grab 14,000 reclaim versus 2,300 reclaim. So overall, Quagar, gotta work on your reclaim game. It's not that you don't have it. There is plenty of reclaim. Get some engineers on that ASAP. That's an order. For your next 10 games, you need like 1,000 reclaim every 2 minutes. I don't even know if that's possible. Well, actually, I guess it is possible. Straight White Male almost has 1,000 reclaim per minute at the moment. There is A bunch of engineers dying over here. I don't know why I'm giving training regiment to the people I'm casting. You know what? Screw it. Why not? Why not? Everything else I do is silly and stupid. May as well make this too. This casting thing. Ah, who said he was a caster? Himself. Ah, valid. A lot of factories being upgraded to T2 out from straight white male. Can he afford it? No. That's a solid and resounding no. Reclaim is the only way he's able to produce all of these tanks, but he is in fact producing all of these tanks, so gotta give credit where credit's due. Tanks good. Tanks very good. Very good tanks. Everybody likes tanks. Do you like tanks? I like tanks. Tanks are cool. I should play War Thunder. Oh my word. More T1 bombers getting way too much damage done. T1 bombers have been really efficient this game because neither player really super duper cares about the air game. We'll have to see if that changes though, because if the game goes on long enough, T2 and T3 air is going to be exceptionally powerful. Over here in the west there is an attempted run by, but Quagar is getting less and less with all of these armies he's sending in. It's starting to turn into a bit of a bad situation for Quagar as he's unable to throw the more units at his opponent than his opponent has. So now he's just kind of donating mass. Like all of this is going to be reclaimed. We know that straight white male is on top of his reclaim game at the moment. Everywhere near his main base has picked up all the reclaim except for like maybe right over here, but you got to cut him some slack. He's doing very well on the reclaim game. He's currently at, as I said, he's 1,000 mass away in reclaim from being at 1,000 reclaim a minute. Man is absolutely sucking everything off the map, and it is beautiful. A few more mass extractors going to be killed off, or not mass extractor, a few more factories going to be killed off so that they can be reclaimed. They are no longer needed for their production value. On the west side, there is a large force out from straight white male going to be attempting an attack. There is nothing here to defend, so this needs to be dealt with momentarily. I think Quagar might know about it, but no, he doesn't have significant radar coverage over here. His interceptors are going to give him a slight idea of what's going on. And there is a large force that's somewhat behind his base, is a little bit mispositioned, starting to head out west, starting to try and get a defensive line set up. But these tanks are going to get in here. They're going to kill off a few mass extractors and make life difficult and annoying for a short amount of time. These tanks also seemingly trying to come around and help out with the defense, going to try and pincer this large force out from straight white male, which it is a exceptionally large force, very quickly mowing through the standing mass extractors in this area and going to be able to just distract Quagar for a little bit. And all behind this, I think that straight white male's slowly catching up in economy at 179 not 179, at 77 versus 93-ish. So he's slowly catching up in mass generation, and it's starting to look a lot better for him. He does have this issue where a few pillars got through and managed to kill off some mass extractors, but those are going to be built up very quickly by the engineers and comm in the area. Speaking of commanders, we have 43 kills and 2 vet with 3,000 mass killed on the commander of straight white male, whereas Quagar is about to get his first rank of veterancy at 1,000 mass killed, doing quite good work. Both these players with their comms, using them in defensive manners, not really going to overextend. Neither player going for comm upgrades at the moment, except for I lie, Quagar has T2 on the comm and he's building some triads, going to try and get up some more substantial, solid, constant defense, static defense as it is more normally called, on this western flank, so he can focus more on the eastern flank. There is a few more pillars managing to slip through, but these pillars are going to die, and the mass extractors are killing our T1, so they are... In reality, this is just going to give more mass than you're taking away from your opponent, because these pillars, they're worth 100 or more mass per each one, and they killed off a grand total of like 37 or whatever. How much does a T1 mass extractor even cost? Give me the commander. A T1 mass extractor is 36. I was close. It said 37. It's 36. They killed 36 mass worth of stuff and handed over a lot more than 36 mass worth of reclaim. So not a exceptionally efficient trade, but Of course, Quagar continuing to pressure, has another army built up over here and is going to use it to attack into the western side of the map. There are Mongoose and Flapjacks now showing up. The Mongoose might give a slight advantage if they are microed properly, with the pillars in front, Mongoose in back, using the Mongoose to abuse the range, kill off some pillars without being under threat themselves. But these Mongoose getting dangerously close, going to go down very quickly to pillar fire if they do not get pulled back immediately. And it does look like the forces are going to start pulling back over on this eastern side. On the western, or on the western side, on the eastern side though, we have a group of strikers and pillars and some flak even. I don't know why you're building flak. He hasn't showed that he's going for air whatsoever. I mean, you could even scout and see that, yeah, his only air factory is T1. You don't really need flak. But regardless, mixing flak in because I guess it's just instinct. The western side, the army out from Quagar has split into two and is now starting to cause more issue. It's going to kill off a few mass extractors, but there's enough T1 PD here. There's enough units in the area. This is not going to be substantial damage. This is not the damage we were seeing earlier where he kills half of the mass extractors that Straight White Male owns. The only real threat right now is this T2 mass extractor in the back could be under threat. This engineer could start building a PD if Straight White Male was particularly worried, but it doesn't look like he's super worried about the two pillars and one striker right here. Has units trying to catch up and kill them off. One pillar going down. This striker's probably not long for this world as the pillar kills it off, and these units continue to fight it out. I do not believe that this mass extractor is going to die, so that's no longer an interesting place to be looking. Over here in the center, Mech Marines reappearing into the unit composition for Quagar, going to be able to use those to distract the firing systems of his opponent's units and even possibly get out a little bit more DPS. Mech Marines have some decent DPS on them and going to be able to kill off a few of these forward mass extractors, but that really just isn't hurting Straight White Male. It looks like he managed to get T2 on his own comm and is building some more static defense over on the eastern side. So western side for Quagar, some static defense. Eastern side for Straight White Male, static defense. Both of these players deciding one flank is not the flank that they're going to deal with. T3 tech finishing up for Quagar as he manages to get up some Titans. That's going to be a bit dangerous. I'm sure that immediately procced the response of T3 for Straight White Male. In fact, I think Straight White Male might have gone T3 first as he already has a Percival out, and that could be very dangerous. It's Titans notoriously not great about, you know, the entire, what's it called? Jesus. Titans notoriously not great at dealing with Percivals. Percivals generally win that matchup. And yes. Whew, geez. I need to take a second to breathe. Oh man. Been yelling at my screen for like the past 6-7 minutes. I'm gonna take a drink real quick. Alright, so the Percival shows up, immediately snipes off one of the Titans. The second Titan going to take a Percival shot to the face, and I'm pretty sure it's going to take another one and die. Oh, it missed! The Titan's going to manage to slip right past, but the Percival gets the fadeaway shot and kills the Titan. Very interesting and elaborate gameplay. Alright, where is my minimap? What's going on? There's my minimap. There it is. I can see it. I have eyes. It is, of course, very important to have eyes when you're casting. I mean, I'm normally blind. I miss apparently everything. T3 engineer brought out to build Ravagers to be annoying. This is gonna die relatively quickly because what Ravagers are bad against is a lot of units. So you just send a bunch of units at it. It's not good at dealing with a lot of things. It's good at dealing with one big thing. That's why it's good at killing off things like Percivals and Experimentals. Alright, so things have somewhat calmed down. These players, I think, have finally realized that the run-by tactics of minute have absolutely failed, and Well, now that I say that, Quagar is going to be going for a run by on the western side, because yet again, as I was talking about earlier, he likes his left hook. He's going to go for another one. Let's check on the economies. Straight white male sitting at 94 mass a second, and 165 for Quagar. But that is super deceiving, because at any given time, there's another 100 mass a second coming in for straight white male. Because he is reclaiming up a storm. 49,000 reclaim in 29 minutes and 30 seconds. 50,000 reclaim, actually. This man is the best sucker I have ever seen. He doing all the suck. He sucks so good. Innuendo. Insert here. Percival's gonna be killing off Titans that are trying to run by. Titans gonna be dying to Percivals, and T1 units gonna be slaughtered by everything that's not a Percival. And that is, of course, the situation we're in. Seriously, the T1, T2, T3 mixed army trying to run by thing, it's not working anymore. Wow, these Ravagers are being way more effective than I gave them credit for. Why don't you just set some of your factories to spam Lobos and just literally rally point them right here? It'll kill this off. I'm pretty sure that kills it off. But that's not what's happening. On the cliff, there are now clink hammers being built. Wow, Quagar has the right idea. Oh wow, there's clink hammers built up here too. Well, I am blind. Never mind, I'm blind. I don't have eyes. I'm missing all of the important things. A bunch of clink hammers have now been built up and are going to cause a lot of issue for a straight white male. If we go ahead and check on Quagar's position, we can see that, okay, really? Jesus, so unprofessional. Fire the intern for that one. Alright, so, the clink hammers, this is the area that they're gonna say fuck you to. And, I know that I said I wasn't going to pay much attention to chat. I still read it. Gampachino, for the YouTube people, said, you better be casting this from a hot tub. It's against Twitch TOS to not have tits on stream. Here's your tits! Oh, God. There's a T2 mech's about to die. It's a very sad day. A very, very sad day indeed. Indeed. Not indeed, indeed. So, what's the strategy, straight white male? You're still doing great on reclaim, but you're kind of running out of places to reclaim at. And, you're now getting artillery creeped. Oh, yay! He finally sent an army and all of these Ravagers died. Thank God. Okay. That survived way longer than I think it should have. But I'm not here to criticize. I'm here to theorize on how these players can win. And right now, straight white male could win by having more Percivals. He's doing very good at the having more Percivals part of this game. Because he currently, guess what, has more Percivals. And, wait, does he? He has 27 Percivals. Versus, 7. Yeah, that's a good way to win games. Have literally 3-to-1 odds against your opponent's best unit. Have 3 times more best units than your opponent. That's a winning move right there. T2 air and T3 air, skipping T2 air actually, he's going straight to T3 air, out from Quagar, and that is gonna be very dangerous. A strat bomber is definitely in prime position to cause a ton of damage over onto straight white male. And I think it's gonna be a bit, I don't know if you're gonna have an answer, because like, sure, you could build Cougars, which by the way, if you want to laugh, go watch my Forged Alliance Forever co-op series and wait until we start talking about Cougars. It's fucking hilarious. At least I find it hilarious. If you don't find it funny, I guess you're just not funny. But still, some of the shit I say, it takes a second before it hits my brain. Like, I've already said it, and then my brain hears it, and it's like, ha! Oh man, these clink hammers are a problem. A significant one. There's just more of them constantly being built. You know what would be a good counter to the clink hammers, though? You could build spearheads, couldn't you? I mean, like, this one buzzkill is not going to stop 3 or 4 spearheads. You could just build some spearheads and kill off all of this. Sure, he'd start building TMD, but currently I'm pretty sure Quagar is having mass issues. No, he's not. I'm just lying. I lie all the time. That's all I apparently do is lie. Wow, Straight White Male has really skyrocketed in economy up to 169 mass a second and 77,000 reclaim. In 30 minutes, he's over 2,000 reclaim a minute, which is ridiculous. 14,000 is his opponent, for reference, and his opponent's at 194 mass a second. So this is a crazy... Wow, this is starting to get out of hand. I think that Quagar is actually at a economic disadvantage. Like, a significant one, mainly because there's still reclaim on the map, and it seems that Straight White Male is just doing very good at the entire reclaim thing. Quagar has been doing these punches and these very interesting and cool strategies of, like, I'm gonna build a bunch of clink hammers and, like, try and ravage a creep with a T3 engineer. He's doing all of these, like, interesting... It's kind of like in a movie where you have, like, the protagonist. He comes up to a ninja. The ninja has the nunchucks and starts, like, doing all of this shit, like he's doing all the fancy nunchuck shit, and then the protagonist just punches him in the face and knocks him out. Like, it's kind of like that. Quagar over here, like, with his nunchucks, just doing some crazy shit, just constantly trying all of these, like, acrobatic moves and these outmaneuverings, and Straight White Male is just sitting here like, I'm gonna just take all your stuff and turn it against you. Oh, man. This is a problem, but he's doing surprisingly well at just simply not dying to the fact that there's a bunch of clink hammers firing on him. And, oh, he's going into a power stall here soon. That's bad. Straight White Male's going to go into a power stall. And, I mean, Quagar's not in a great position either. He has a lot of T2 pigeons, but I don't think he's in a great position power-wise either. He has a bunch of T2 pigeons, and he's trying to produce ASF without a T3 pigeon. What? This has got... Listen, I know I'm stupid, and I know I'm bad at FAF, but even to me, this seems like a little bit like... yet again, nunchucks. Put down the nunchucks, Quagar. Put them down. Learn how to use, like, something else. Anything but a nunchuck. Don't use anything with a chain. Grab a wooden stick. Just a stick. You'll do better. Stop with the fancy shenanigans. It's not helping you. It helped you a lot in the early... Okay, you know, you can use nunchucks for the first 15 minutes. After that, switch to the stick. Is start beating them with a stick. The clink hammers are finally getting through, and yeah, that's a problem. This is a lot of eco to lose to clink hammers, to be completely honest with you. On the western side, we're gonna have another attempted run by. The problem with this attempted run by is the same problem that the past, like, 13 attempted run bys have had. There's gonna be enough stuff here to stop you. And also, you're not killing anything valuable. The clink hammers have already done the job over on this western flank. The clink hammers are doing great. And, yeah, this is... I mean, I guess the clink hammers will kill off the person. That was not good. Not... You know what? We're just not going to look at that. I don't want to see that. That was disgusting. That was absolutely disgusting. Broadswords? Oh, T3 air has been achieved by both players, and Straight White Male is power stalling. I thought he'd have better power because he has a T3 pigeon, but apparently the T2 pigeon line is a thing that works. These broadswords are going to take forever to die to that flak, and they could just kill the flak if they felt like it, but instead they're going to kill off all the clink hammers. So a bunch of T1 PD is going to be attempted to be, or T1 AA is going to attempt to be built. T1 up AA! It's AA that goes uppus. But yeah, that's That's pretty bad. I mean, yeah, there are ASFs, but the broadswords have anti-air, and you need more than 2 ASFs to deal with 3 broadswords. So yeah, I lied. This run-by thing, great strategy. I am such a lie. Yet again, lies are my profession, and this is good. This is good. Very good. Very good, Quagar. I'm very proud of you. Your left hook works one last time because Percivals aren't as fast as pillars. Man. Alright. Doesn't Straight White Male still just have more Percivals though? Like, just right here. Just right here. That's 30 Percivals versus 12 Percivals. You can just move forward. And it's not like, oh, he doesn't know because he doesn't have intel because he didn't scout. He doesn't know that he can just move forward and kill the enemy because he hasn't scouted. It all makes sense now. Wow, this only got 2 broadswords because they didn't kill the engineers. Or maybe the ASFs finally managed to do their job, but still. Whew. Man. There's a lot going on. I'm missing so much, but there is a lot going on. Is Straight White Male ever going to realize that he can literally walk forward with this force and do inordinate amounts of damage? He's starting to walk forward with the force. He's using the force. Use the force, Luke! This is going to be a very pretty fight. I want to get in close. I want to feel this fight in my bones. I want this fight to feel good. Oh, I might be a little bit too quiet. You know, I'll turn myself up a bit. Oh my god, it's beautiful. You still have the Percival advantage, man. You got this. Don't run away. You got this. Yes, good. Turn around. Walk your giant ass. Walk your big mechanical asses, your mini asses, your badonka honkalonkers, and get them forward to kill. Wait, badonka honkalonkers is tits. Damn it, Twitch. Oh man. Wait. This is much less of a cast and more of a slow descent into madness, in case you didn't know. Whew. Alright. Alright. I mean, he still wins this. He still has enough Percivals to continue to walk forward. And I think he knows that now. I think Quagar also has an inkling of an idea that he just didn't build enough Percivals, which is strange, because he was doing so well on land production for so long, but I guess Straight White Male just kind of streamlined the process a lot better. This is bad. This is not good. No, don't walk your comm towards it! I don't care how good you think overcharge is. I don't care if you have a ridiculous amount of energy storage. Your overcharge is not going to win this, especially with only 150-something power a second. This is... okay. Well, Quagar dies. This is the end of the game, everybody. This is where it ends. He walked his comm right into range of all these Percivals, and Quagar dies to Percivals and broadswords. This game did not need to end at this given minute marker, but it is going to. One more volley and he dies. GG! That is the end of this cast. Thank you all for watching. If you liked, then liked it. If you want to tell me something, comment. If you dislike it. And most importantly, hit the red fucking button. Only 30% of you are subscribed. Go subscribe. Fucking YouTube. At least with Twitch, people follow. Alright, I don't know why I'm berating my YouTube audience at the because I'm apparently a Twitch elitist now. But yes, thank you all for watching. Thank you to my patrons, Timothy Caldward, Sergeant Siplis, and Nogthar. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!